What's going on? Mellowmatic here with another awesome game to play. This is Planet Zoo. From Frontier Developments, the people that brought us Planet Coaster and Zoo Tycoon, this is the ultimate zoo simulator, allowing us to construct and manage our very own zoo. This is episode 1 of career mode, so click that like, hit subscribe, and follow along on this awesome zoo adventure we got going. Ooh, look at that.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I have a habit of slipping back into the Planko language. It's good to finally meet you in person. I'm Bernard, although I insist you call me Bernie. The only person who calls me Bernard is my wife. And even then, only when I've tracked elephant dung into the carpets. As you know, I own several zoos, but I always like to show people the ropes here at my home. This is the first zoo I ever opened, and a source of great pride for me. And prides, thanks to a lion breeding program we ran in the 80s. But we're in the middle of a big renovation, and that's where you come in. Sadly, our old contractor had to retire after developing a fur allergy. Poor devil kept sneezing his dentures into the lion habitat. So, it's up to you to finish everything off. Don't worry, though. I'm not completely throwing you in at the deep end. My head keeper, Nancy Jones, will be lending a helping hand. Oh, she's a hard worker, and she'll expect you to be, too. But I'm sure you'll get along like a house on fire, or even better, one that isn't on fire. Less shouting that way.
Hello there. From that rosy, fresh face of yours, I'm guessing you're Bernie's new hire. Good. Now, I hope you're ready to ditch your diploma because we're about to get really hands-on. But before we begin the real work, how about we familiarize you with the zoo by learning how to fly around it and visiting some of our beautiful animals. We'll start by popping over and having a look-see at the grizzly bears in their habitat.
Oh my god. That bear is dropping a deuce there.
Grizzly
Kind of at
bears,
the wrong time.
also known as Ursus arctos horribilis, can hibernate for up to 7 months a year. Oh, but then again, given the chance, I think a lot of people would do that too. Select one of the bears and you'll bring up its information panel. This is where you can find out all kinds of information about your animal. The most important thing being its overall welfare. You'll learn more about animal welfare today as we go through your objectives. But for now, let's enjoy this magnificent animal. Why don't you select the camera at the bottom of its information panel?
Okay.
See now, this is a fantastic way to get a close look at your animals. You can also get this view of an animal by simply double-clicking on it. Okay, when you're ready, let's pop over to the other side of the zoo and take a look at the lions. I've marked their location for you to find.
Take a look at this bear real quick. This is sick. Oh, and get the dookie out of the shot. Let's get back over to where this lady needs us to go. What'd you say, the lions? Yep.
Panthera leo. Or the West African lion to you and me. Lions are the most social of the big cats, and there can be as many as 40 lions in a pride. Although prides of that size are pretty rare. As Bernie would say, those lions are awesome. Which is precisely why I handle the training instead these days. Anyway, how about we get started on those objectives? Come on, let's head over to an empty habitat and see what needs doing there.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Empty habitat.
As you can see, it's a lovely space for animals, but it's missing a certain something. Well, 2 somethings. Warthogs. So I'd like you to adopt a pair of them. To adopt animals, we need to open the animal market, which is in the animal trading section.
Go find some warthogs.
There we are, a pair of perfectly splendid warthogs for our zoo. Just click on them and select Adopt from the side menu. Normally the animal exchange would be full of animals, but I've emptied out the market while you learn how it works. The last thing I need is you accidentally ordering a dozen elephants. When you
Okay.
adopt an animal, it's automatically placed in the trade center where they're held until you're ready to move them into their habitat, which, as it happens, you are. So how about you move them into their new home?
I remember
When
doing
you
this on the
ask for an
beta.
animal to be moved into a habitat, your caretakers will go to the trade center, collect your animal, and deliver them to your selected habitat. I've marked the trade center's location, so let's go and watch the caretakers in action.
Okay. Right over here.
Well, as you can see, those caretakers don't hang about. They'll move those animals to their destination as fast as possible.
Wow, this dude
Of
is
course, normally
motivated.
you'd have to place the animals into quarantine before moving them into a habitat, but I am assured by a person of good standing that these warthogs are in the very rudest of health. Right, let's get the warthog's habitat finished up so we can keep them nice and happy. You see, each animal in the zoo has an overall welfare statistic, basically how happy they are. And that overall welfare statistic is itself comprised of 4 different areas: nutrition, social health, habitat, and enrichment. Luckily, if you select an animal, you'll bring up their animal welfare information panel, which we saw earlier, where you can see how they're doing. That way, you'll know exactly what areas need to be addressed. Don't worry if that's a lot to remember. You can always check the Zoopedia for more information. Let's start by making sure we're taking care of the warthog's nutrition welfare. To do this, we'll need to place a food station and a drinking station. Now, each animal requires a different type of feeding station. And for the warthogs, it's a small feeding trough. So let's add one of those and a water bowl. Animals also require stimulation to keep them happy. Let's add a lovely mud bath for the warthogs to roll around in. That bath will count towards their enrichment welfare, specifically their toy enrichment welfare. Oh,
There we go.
nice work. You've got a knack for this, I see. Now, our contractor had to leave in a hurry, so this place is in a fair old state. Unfinished thingamajigs and whatsits all over the shop. But the first thing we need to finish is the ostrich habitat. It's over near the hippos.
Alright, where are the ostriches? Oh, this giant one over here. Yep, there it is.
Oh, before we actually start building our ostrich habitat, let's pause the game. Just click the pause button in the bottom right corner.
Okay.
That's more like it. A quick break. Sometimes it's a good idea to pause the game whilst you're doing something which requires your concentration, because it'll stop the zoo spinning out of control while you're looking the other way. Let's keep the game paused while we get this ostrich habitat built. Okay, job number 1 here is to add a habitat gate before we complete the barrier. Every habitat needs a habitat gate. After all, how else would the keepers get in and out? Just make sure it's hooked up to the path so the keepers can reach it. Right, let's
Good enough.
complete the perimeter barrier so we can adopt us some ostriches. I've marked out an area for you to use, so I'd like you to finish off the perimeter using the brick barrier.
Done.
Good work.
Yeah, I'm way ahead of you, lady.
Before you can place animals in any habitat, it has to have a full loop of connected barrier.
Okay.
Now, you've probably noticed that guests can't actually see into this habitat at the moment. At least not without a stepladder. But seeing as they're banned, I'd like you to select a piece of barrier and swap out the brick for a glass barrier, so the guests can see in.
What is happening? Oh my goodness. Oh my god, what is going on? This is not working. What the hell? Am I just
There we
dumb?
go.
Oh,
Adding in more windows gives guests even more opportunities to see the animals in a
have to
habitat.
click on.
It's always best to make sure the guests can get a
Oh,
good
it
view
went away.
into a habitat from the path they're walking
I guess
on.
the guests have
because
to
it makes
just
them happy.
look in this little window
And
here.
because this would be a pretty terrible zoo if they couldn't. The last thing we need to do is to add a donation box. You see, when guests enjoy the view of an animal, they'll make a donation. Just make sure you put them in easy-to-reach places, like near a viewing point. Donation boxes are one of the main sources of income for the zoo, so make sure you remember them. Now, before we adopt our ostriches, you should click the play button. After all, if the game's paused, then so are our caretakers, which will make it a bit tricky for them to deliver the ostriches, eh? By the way, as well as pausing the game, you can speed the game up by clicking on the fast forward button. It'll run everything at 2 times and 5 times faster. It can be useful, especially if you're waiting for money to accumulate or for animals to be delivered to your habitat. Personally, I use it when I'm waiting for a brew to finish. All right, you've finished the habitat, so it's high time we adopted those ostriches, don't you think? Let's get 4 of them in here.
We're just gonna go with this super expensive one. Now we go down here, move it, and move this one. All right. They should be good. They should be getting delivered now anytime. Let's speed the time up like she said. There they are. Yeah, party time with the ostriches. We did it. All right, now what, lady? I'm here. What do you want me to do? Something glitched. Oh, what's going on? I don't know what that's about. Visiting player. What? I don't know what that means. Alright, I think something is glitched or something because this is not working now. Oh, 4 ostriches. I'm just an idiot. Didn't realize it wanted me to get them all. I wasn't listening. Did not do the other one. Okay. And one.
While we wait for them to be collected by the caretakers and brought to the habitat, you should get it ready for them. Add a suitable feeding station, water station, and an appropriate food enrichment item. It's often best to place things like enrichments and feeding stations near to the habitat perimeter, so guests can get a really good view of the animals.
Hey, we did it, Bronze Star.
Oh, good to see the
I don't know how you get more.
They can really stretch their
A higher
legs.
rank.
Did you know they can actually run at 43 miles per hour? Oh, heaven forbid they ever escape. The speed camera fines alone would bankrupt us.
All right, Bernie.
Bernie
Whatever you say.
Seems impressed. Did you do his speed camera joke? Every time we get an ostrich. So, now we've made the ostriches' lives a bit better, let's do the same for the keepers, shall we? To make it easier for the keepers to feed the ostriches and hippos, we should build a new keeper hut. Keeper huts are where the keepers prepare the food for animals, so they should be placed near to the habitats to make sure the keepers don't waste their time walking when they should be looking after the animals. You'll need to rotate the keeper hut to get it to connect up to the path.
There we go. Hit Z to rotate that. At that placed.
This keeper hut only has space for 1 keeper, but the larger keeper hut can allow multiple keepers to prepare food at the same time. Oh, but bear in mind that keeper huts and other staff facilities shouldn't be placed near to areas where there are lots of guests. Guests don't like seeing facility buildings, and it can affect their happiness. Negatively. In case that wasn't clear. Something that all facilities, shops, and a whole host of other objects need is power. And that obviously includes your newly built keeper hut. So let's place a transformer next to it, shall we?
You guys want to see how detailed this game is? Little keeper hut you can't really do anything with it. You just place it. But look at this. Look at the amount of detail the developers put into this game. That's nuts. This is just aesthetics. Look at that. That is so cool. And all the facilities that you place down are like that. The break room looks like an actual break room. It's pretty awesome. It makes me like this game even more. I love that attention to detail.
Now, the reason everything has gone blue is because you're using the power heat map. This map allows you to see what is and what isn't powered in your zoo. So, once you've placed your transformer, you can click in the bottom left to turn the heat map off. Lovely work. Now the keepers can start using the hut to prepare food, and thanks to where you've put it, they won't need to walk very far to deliver it to the ostriches and hippos. Let's get on to your next objective then. Bengal tigers. We want to adopt some, but I'm afraid there's nothing ready for them yet. Head on over to the plot of land I've marked out. It's not too far away.
This game is just awesome, dude. Look at that. Giving me some ideas. Okay, what do we gotta do? Locate the highlighted area right over here, okay.
Righty, your next job is to build a habitat from scratch. And concrete and glass, I expect. So, go ahead and build it. Just make sure that the habitat includes that big hole we've dug. Oh, and don't forget to add a habitat gate to the barrier. Oh, and make sure the guests will be able to see the tigers.
This is the part I like. I like building. I like it to build. Is that a glass right there? Yeah. Oh, what did I do? I hit a button. This is what got me into these games. I didn't realize how much I like to construct and build things. Once I got my PC, started looking into city skylines and SimCity. Started watching videos like this, of games like this, and I was like, oh my god, I gotta play it. You have to. The creativity and the freaking how chill this is, man. Oh, I don't know why I'm doing glass over here. I guess, well, it don't matter. Didn't need to be glass there, but that's alright. I'm just gonna make the whole thing glass, you know? Let's do that. Bam. Perfect. I like it. What did she say this was for? Oh, tigers. So I gotta, need to raise these, actually. That, and then raise that up to, I don't remember what it's supposed to be. Oh, with a 6.8 right there. Okay. And then what's I should have listened. Okay, habitat gate. I gotta throw that in there real quick. That's fine right there.
Now that the habitat is in place, don't forget to put down a donation box near to your viewing areas. We need
oh, well, the whole thing's a viewing area,
get.
so...
Especially as these tigers aren't exactly eating instant noodles for lunch. Okay, that's the habitat boundary complete, the habitat gate's in place, and most importantly, the tigers won't be able to jump out of it anymore. I think it's time we adopted those tigers.
Alright, let's get them tigers, dude. Damn, that's so expensive. It's gonna be a while till I can have tigers in my zoo. I can already tell. Alright, we'll move them in here. Move this one.
Whilst our trusted
Nice.
caretakers collect and deliver the tigers, let's take a look at preparing the habitat for their arrival. We'll start with the
Large
basics.
food tray.
Add a suitable feeding station for them.
Okay.
This time, instead of adding a water bowl, let's try something different. Some animals need a pool in their habitat so they can go for a swim, but they can also use it to drink from. All you have to do is make sure the banks of the pool have a gentle slope so they can easily get a nice, refreshing drink. There's already a pool excavated, but you still need to fill it with water. You should do that by going into terrain and selecting the water tool.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Yes, that'll do nicely. Of course, just like the warthogs and ostriches, these tigers will also need some enrichment. Why don't you add some suitable toy and food enrichment items into their habitat?
The blood pumpkin.
Okay,
scratching
it's really
post.
starting to take shape. Now, the tigers will need a shelter in their habitat so they can hide from the guests, or more likely, the bad weather. Although given that we're in England, you might want to think of that just as normal weather. Go on, add a shelter to their habitat. You can either build one from various suitable bits and bobs, or if you like, just pop down the blueprint that I've already built for you.
Let's see. We're just gonna do the blueprint. I'm not trying to spend all day in the tutorial. Where should it go? Where should it be placed? Gonna put it like right here.
Oh, poor Dabs.
Oh,
I'm sure
there's
it
a tree in
can't
the way.
have escaped your attention that the tigers look a bit miffed. That's because they aren't too keen on the type of terrain in their habitat. Select a tiger and bring up its information panel.
Okay.
Rightio.
Terrain.
Click on the terrain tab. That way you can view the terrain information and see how they feel about the different
See.
types of terrain. That'll tell you what the tigers need more of or less of in this habitat.
So they need
Okay,
more
then.
soil.
Open the terrain editing tool, select painting, and give them some more soil. Yes, that
More
should
short
help with the
grass.
habitat part of their welfare.
A little more rock. Almost there. A little more soil.
Right then.
There we go.
All animals need plants and trees from their own biome or continent. You know, deserts, savannas, or Asia, Europe, that sort of thing. It looks like these tigers need a few more plants in their habitat. To get a perfect fit, use plants from the rainforest and temperate biomes that are native to Asia.
Doesn't like that.
Although if you have to, you can get away with using just one or the other. The tigers will also want a certain amount of their habitat to be covered by those plants. To find out which plants to use and how many, select a tiger and go to the Environment tab. Now, as you can see, some of the plants currently in the habitat aren't quite right for the tiger, like the wattle bushes. You can remove them if you want.
Okay. Let's go
You can find all
to
of the plants you need in the nature section, and you can
tropical,
use the filters to only show the
temperate,
types of plants you want to see.
and grassland.
In this case, that's plants from the rainforest or temperate biomes.
Let's get the tropical out of there. Alright, they like that tree? Yes, they do. Awesome. Get a few of these trees in there. See, what was that from? Okay. Some more of these bushes. Yeah, they need a lot of coverage. Let me get some more trees in here. This doesn't look the best, but I'm just trying to get through this tutorial, so kind of playing around a little bit. Almost there. Wow, they need a lot. Oh, I think those are like elevated. Oh no, they're good. Okay. Get some more tree action up in here. There we go. Pretty much got it. Good. Oh, there's a freaking bush up on the fence.
They say that good fences make good neighbors. I guess that's doubly true when
Hey.
one of the neighbors is a Bengal tiger. Still, those tigers look so happy that I doubt they'd leave, even if you did poke a hole in their fence. Oh, but for heaven's sake, don't test that theory.
No,
Right,
Bernie.
let's head
Come on,
over to
Bernie
the
boy.
Indian peafowls. I've been
Let me
told
move
that we need
this.
to improve their social welfare.
I want to move this bush. It's bugging me. I guess it's not gonna let me. Oh my god. That's funny. Ha! There's there's a bush at the top of this damn glass fence. Alright. Locate the area right over here.
Now then, just find one of the peafowls and select them to open their information panel. Then we can have a good gander at how they're doing. Although
Okay.
technically, I suppose gandering would just be for geese.
Social?
Expand their social welfare and we can get a bit more detail.
Too few.
Now, they've clearly got plenty of space and they're not stressed, but it looks like their social group isn't quite right. So let's find out more. Click
They
on
need
the
more
social
adults.
tab at the top of their information panel to see what's wrong. Right, as you can see, the peafowls need their population to be larger. To solve this little problem, you'll need to adopt 3 more female peafowls. Off you pop to the animal market then.
Mm-hmm.
Good work on those
Get this
peafowls.
rolling, Nancy.
I expect they'll be delivered soon. But sadly, it sounds like our snow leopard is a bit grumpy. Let's head over there and see what's wrong with her.
Snow leopard, huh? Right over here. This is a large zoo. This is really huge. Alright, where's this leopard? She in the cave?
Just like people, animals can suffer from stress if things aren't quite right. You know, like when you see someone put in the milk before the tea bag. In the case of these snow leopards, they're a bit stressed by their lack of privacy. You can lower their stress levels by swapping out the normal glass barrier by their cave for one-way glass. It's not a cheap option, but I think they're worth the expense, don't you? This will give the snow leopards somewhere to go when they want to get away from the prying eyes of the guests.
Okay. Let me figure this out. Oh my god. I guess select, maybe?
Of course,
There we
when
go.
an animal isn't in its natural biome, it's probably going to be too hot or too cold. Unsurprisingly for the snow leopards, it's too hot. Even with the terrible British weather. You should help cool it down by adding some coolers to their habitat. But let's start by opening up the temperature heat map and having a look-see at the temperature in the leopard's habitat.
Okay. Oh, temperature
As you
here?
can see, we already have one cooler in there. Let's pop some more down and get as much of the habitat as chilly as we can. Luckily for us, this habitat already has power, but you'll need to make sure of that in the future.
Okay.
Just so you know, if any part of a habitat is powered, then the whole habitat will be powered.
Okay. Place coolers. Isn't that what I just put? I gotta put another one?
You can find heat
Yep,
maps for
there we
all
go.
sorts of helpful things, so do be sure to explore them and make good use of them. It'll take a little while for the temperature to adjust once you've added coolers or heaters, but now we've got the coolers in, we can address the leopard's terrain welfare. You see, what the leopards really want in here is snow and rock, so let's make that happen.
Where's this leopard? Where'd you go? Okay. Let's do this the right way. Okay, they want way less long grass. And rock, it doesn't matter, I guess. We do more rock. A little more short grass. Okay, short grass is good. Now we can do A little soil. There we go. Perfect. Right? Isn't that perfect? Am I right? It didn't say anything about snow. I guess I could put snow.
Well then,
There we go.
all of that should give you a pretty good understanding of how to make animals happy. So I'd like you to go and check on all the other animals in the zoo and fix up any issues with their habitats. That'll increase the average welfare of the animals across the whole zoo. And that average welfare is a very important statistic. Now, to quickly see how all your animals are doing in the zoo, you should go into zoo management and then into the animals section.
Zoo management. Animal?
As you can see, this list shows you the animal's overall welfare. So if something's amiss, then you can quickly pop over to them using the locate button. Right, I'm off for a cuppa while you make sure all the animals are well looked after.
Alright, most of them look pretty good, but we got this tortoise could use a little bit of a... Oh no, I don't want to move him. I need to go see him. How do I see where the animal's at? Can you take me to him? There we go. Alright, where you at, buddy? Is it this one? Yeah. Oh, both of them actually, okay. What's wrong with you guys? Enrichment? Alright, what do you guys need? Enrichment items for species. What these are called, right? The Aldabra? Right here, so put some enrichment items in here. That didn't... Okay, there we go. Now they're gonna get happier now. Just put a bunch of stuff, a bunch of toys. There we go. Look at that. Their welfare already shot up. Sorry about that. I can't talk sometimes. Yeah, both of them right back up to 90%. That's cool. That's a nice little way to manage the animals. I never when I played the beta, I didn't really go by this. Let's go check out this peafowl. See what's wrong with her. This one? Right here? Yep. Alright, hungry. Nutrition, nourishment. Requires keeper. That. Uh-oh. Okay, animal starving requires keeper. So how do I call the keeper over here? I'm not too sure. Do I need to put like a oh, the food bowl over here? Is that what that is? Yeah, food bowl. Come over here. Come put some food over here, please, sir. Before these animals starve. Let's speed up time so he gets over here. Here he comes. Don't know where he just... Okay, he's putting food down now, I think. He just put it in a totally random spot. Okay, I think that fixed it though. So that animal should be good. Let's see if we got any other ones. Oh wow, there's a bunch that are needing some assistance. We got all the zebras, maybe. What did I just go to? Oh yeah, zebras and giraffes. They're okay, so I can knock this one out probably. So welfare. Moderate welfare issues? What is the problem? Oh, down here, habitat. Habitat, the terrain is not to their liking, so let's go to terrain. I'm assuming that's the same problem with the giraffes, so... Go to terrain. Needs more short grass. Just gonna randomly throw some down. Come on, come on. Get in the green, get in the green. Okay, short grass is good. Some more long grass. Hopefully this is going to be good for the giraffes too. That's way too much soil. Oh, need more short grass. A little more long grass. Almost there. Yeah, here we go. All right, how did that affect our little friends here? Welfare's still low. I don't know if it's gonna grow now. Oh no, enrichment items as well. Okay. So enrichment items. Let's go back and find zebra on this very large list. Oh, does it all highlight it for us?
Not bad. Not
There we go.
bad at all.
All right,
I think it's
we
fair
did
to
it.
say that you've passed the first part of your training with flying colours. There's still lots more to learn, but we'll have to head to another one of Bernie's zoos for that. If you want to grab your passport, we'll head off, shall we?
Well, awesome. That is the first scenario.
Sounds like you got the whole zoo purring away nicely. Well, purring, grunting, screaming, booming. All the appropriate noises. I guess I was right to hire you, huh? Don't tell her I told you, but Nancy wasn't sure you'd even last the morning. So, we're happy this is working out. And Nancy owes me a Foxy coffee.
Oh, now,
As
Bernie.
strange as it seems, considering
Take
we
it
just
easy.
met, when I look at you, I feel like you're the child I never had. After the one I did have, obviously. But you see, zookeeping's not for my daughter. Don't get me wrong. Emma absolutely loves animals, but she set her sights somewhat higher. Wants to save the entire planet. I'll just settle for saving a couple of species. Oh, and maybe having a type of frog named after me.
Bernie the Frog. All right. Like I was saying, that completes our first episode, the first scenario of the career mode. The first 3, I think, are tutorials, so the next 2 episodes will be similar to this, and I think after that we just kind of figure things out on our own. I don't know, we'll see. But if you like this video, smash that like button, and make sure you subscribe so you can continue watching. This game, I'm going to continue playing. I've been playing Surviving the Aftermath and Crossroads Inn. And I'll still sprinkle in some of those funny moments, you know, for all you guys that like to laugh. Those are very fun and funny. But these games really just capture my attention, and I enjoyed playing these a lot. Thanks, friends. Goodbye.